Luffy meets Imu for the first time as Luffy and Loki finally face Imu, man. This chapter is insane, bro. Like, we have the English translations of One Piece chapter 1177, so let's go over it. The title of chapter 1177 is Fury. In the cover request, we see Mistress Fujin is Robin is planting flowers in a mole-made flower bed. So it's cool to see Robin, bro. You know, the best girl in One Piece. I don't know. Don't tell Bo Hancock, bro. Like, yeah. So, man, like, anyway, guys. Bro, this chapter is so good, man. Like, I can't describe in words, but this is like huge moment in One Piece story, bro. Like, anyway, guys, let's go over the beginning of the chapter from the beginning. We see, we start off in Elbaf West Village. We see the Domi Reversi Giants, which Zoro and the other giants were dealing with, and we see Colon is also there. The giants are trying to like take the children away from the scene so that Zoro and the other giants, Tori and Brogy, Hajrudin, they can like take care of the Domi Reversi Giants and they can go all out. You know, they don't want children to see all this massacre. You know, so the giants are like taking the children back to their houses, and we see all the Domi Reversi Giants are like charging towards the village to attack Jarul, and we see everyone like clashing with them. We see Dory clashing with a Domi Reversi Giant, and they're like they have their own consciousness, you know, like they're still talking, and we see it pierces like Dory's hand, bro, like one of the spears, and we see Dory like saying to think that the fiercely proud giant warrior pirates would succumb to this. And we see all the entire gang, Brogy, Dory, Hajrudin, Stanson, they're all like getting rallying up to like fight the Domi Reversi Giants, and we then cut away to the Sun Realm near the where Chopper's group are, and where Gaban and Kashi is also there, and they're also attacked by two Domi Reversi Giants, and we see they're struggling with the Domi Reversi Giants, and Kashi is like reluctant to hit the Domi Reversi Giants because he considers them his friends, and they've been like friends for a long time, and he's unable to like hit them, you know, like watching them like in this state is like hard for him, and he's unable to fight back. And we see Gaban, bro. Gaban is he's still lying there, and Chopper is also there, bro. Like, Gaban came all the way to the Sun Realm, and he has no shade to Gaban, but bro, like, I thought he was gonna be more active, you know, when he said I have to go to the Sun Realm, my son and wife are there. But until now, Gaban has like literally watched like Somers, Violet, like Colon and Ripley, and he literally did nothing. And here we have he's still like chilling here, Gaban, and he did say he's the second strongest Roger Pirate, bro. Like, but he has to live up to that title if he's actually claiming it. So, but until now, he's been fraudulent, Gaban, bro. No shade to Gaban, bro. Like, but I understand. He is like injured, heavily injured from Gonko's arrows, and he's also way past his prime. But yeah, I understand Gaban's situation. So nothing against Gaban there. And we see Chopper is also like saying that encouraging Kashi that you got to fight, but Kashi is saying it's impossible. We have been friends forever. And we then again cut to like West Village where we see Dory like using a named attack on a Domi Reversi Giants with Sovereign, and the giant says you always go and eat half of it, Dory says, and the giant says sorry. So it's weird, bro. The Domi Reversi Giants, they still have their own consciousness, but they have turned into demons, right? It's weird, bro. This Domi Reversi gimmick, bro. We still have so much to learn from it. We have been dealing with Domi Reversi for at least like 30 chapters, I think, and we still have no clear idea on how it actually works and what's the weakness or limitations of Emu applying Domi Reversi to everyone, you know. So yeah, we're still slowly building up to that moment, and we then see all the other giants like Hajrudin, Stanson, they all like use named attacks on Domi Reversi Giants as they like take out all the Domi Reversi Giants. They like absolutely obliterate them like they in half. The Hajrudin uses a named attack called Gungir, and it's like he punches his body through the Domi Reversi Giants, and it splits the giant in half. And Dory uses the named attack Ikuku Sovereignty on a Domi Reversi Giant, and Stanson uses the named attack Gigantic Drum, and he uses his hammer or whatever you call that, the bat, and he just slices apart a Domi Reversi Giant. And we then see the goat, the King of Hell, Zoro using a named attack, a new named attack, three sword style, Red Ogre, Mega Fury, and he cuts apart Domi Reversi Giant's head, and he pieces it up, bro. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, Zoro is going crazy on Domi Reversi Giants, as he now knows that he can go all out on them, and they will flip back if you like kill them in their Domi Reversi form, you know. So it's cool to see, but we don't see in this chapter exactly if those giants which are being like damaged by Dory, Brogy, Hajruddin, Stanson, and Zoro, are they like flipping back to their normal form? We don't see that in this chapter, so I'm curious about what's going on there. But because they did say that if they like finish off the Domi Reversi Giants in their Domi Reversi form, they will flip back to normal. So I'm curious to see like what happens with this. But we cut away from this, and we don't from this, and I think Oda is like will show this later. So we then cut away to Chopper's group again. We see that Chopper is asking. Uh, Chopper is telling Kashi to run away if you don't want to fight, and Kashi is like he's trembling, but he can't hurt them. You know, I understand him, but yeah, bro, like you got to feel for Kashi here, and we see Gaban and Chopper both like getting ready to engage the Domi Reversi Giants as Chopper transforms into his monster point, and he slaps one of the Domi Reversi Giants. And at first it doesn't do anything, but it's weird, bro. Like, but suddenly the Domi Reversi Giant suddenly like the one that Chopper slapped, it suddenly flips back to the ground, and it flips back up to his normal form. You know, it's insane, bro. This is great. It spins back to his normal form, and we see everyone is shocked, like what Chopper did, and the Domri we see Gaban, Kashi, and Chopper is shocked, like what just happened. They like flip back to the normal form. So, bro, like this is huge, man. I'll talk about this in depth later in the chapter, but I think this is something related to Chopper's devil fruit. You know, Chopper's devil fruit might be really special, bro. Those Chopper theories, devil fruit theories might be real. Like how he might actually not have a devil fruit, the human fruit, but he might actually have something like Luffy's. You know, like Luffy has as we thought Luffy had the gum fruit, but in fact it actually turned out to be the human fruit, model Nika, the special god sun god fruit. But I think Chopper could be one of those crazy god fruits or something on that line. You know, this is crazy. So huge development here, and Oda is slowly building up. But the Straw Hats get crazy gas in this chapter. So yeah, Oda is cooking, bro. Like we then cut away to outside the owl library where the Sanji, Frankie, and Jinbe were engaging Killingham, and we see like Nami is feeding Zeus black balls, and we see Killingham's severed head, bro. Like this is hilarious, man. Like someone is like walking around with Killingham's head, and we find out it is Jinbe, bro. Like Sanji, Frankie, Jinbe, they casually defeated Killingham, off-screened him, bro. Mind you, off-screen, bro. Like Oda didn't even feel necessary to show this on panel. Like it was so easy, bro. And we see like Jinbe like holding Killingham's head, and we see Frankie is holding Killingham's legs, and Sanji is like sitting on Killingham's and I think body, bro. Like this is crazy, bro. Like insane aura. Sanji is smoking on that Killingham pack, and we see Killingham like still shouting and saying, "Unhand me, fishman, you filthy black." You and Jinbei says, "You bark a lot for someone in your position." Like they are like aura farming, bro. Sanji, bro. I don't know who defeated Killingham, bro, but bro, at this point, the Holy Knight agenda is dead, bro. Like it's officially dead, bro. Or it might be that the Holy Knights are strong, but Straw Hats are just that, are they're them, you know, like they're at Yonko level. And as Frankie like literally says in this chapter, you'll see where Sanji says, "It's hard to believe these are the kinds of knights that they have been protecting the Holy Land." And we see Frankie saying, "Bro, we have just gotten too strong for them, Sanji. Luffy's an emperor now, you feel me?" So yeah, they're like showing off their emperor status, you know, like, and Sanji says, "That's great and all, but it pisses me off to think that such vermin were allowed to terrorize Elbaf." And we see Killingham saying, "Bro, underestimate us while you can, maggots," bro. Like this line, bro, this gives me hope that the Holy Knights are actually holding back, and they have some sort of like second transformation or second awakening that they haven't used, bro. Like this is crazy. Like so watch out for that, bro. Like I'm betting my money that the Holy Knights have been holding back, and because this line proves that Killingham, like even though he's badly beaten and he's injured, like he's in a crazy, he's in a crazy disadvantage right now. Like he's unable to regenerate. His body parts are all over the place. Sanji, Frankie, Jinbe, and Sanji, they have decided to like keep the Killingham's body parts separated, so they do not are able to connect back and regenerate. You know, so this is crazy, and we see. But at this point, there is literally no threat on Elbaf right now. Like it's just Gonko left, as Jinbei says. There is still one more who hasn't taken any damage yet. don't let your guards down. So yeah, it's just Emu left on Elbaf right now because all the damage has been dealt with. So yeah, bro, something insane is about to happen, and as we see in the end of this chapter, like always building up to Luffy and Loki and Emu fight, and we'll see what happens with that, and things will go crazy from there, that's for sure. And we see uh, Nami and Zeus like talking, and that Nami and Zeus planning to like stop the fire that breaking out from all over Elbaf, and they're trying to like use the rain with Zeus and to stop the fire like surrounding Elbaf. And as they're talking, Luffy and Loki they arrive at their place where Sanji, Frankie, Jinbe, Nami are. And Loki, we see Loki like blasting the MMA monsters on his way to Nami's group, and he just it is insane, bro. Loki is gradually dropping nukes, and Luffy, Loki, Ragnar finally arrive, and Luffy says, "Hey, Nami, Sanji, Frankie, what's up? Like it's been so long, man. It's been a long time. They finally reunited. You know, I think it's been around like 40 chapters since Luffy met like was with this group. You know, like this is crazy, and we then see everyone reacting to like Loki's giant form, and they're shocked. And Jinbei says, "It's huge, like a sea king." Sanji says, "What if it's with you?" "Wait, if it's with you, don't tell me that's Loki." Frankie says, "That's buddy of yours?" "No way, that's so cool." And Luffy says, "Bro, right, this guy's just too big, bro." Like, and bro, Luffy is like treating Loki like a pet he just found on the street. You know, like this is hilarious. And we see Nami losing her mind. Are you? And she's like furious that Luffy and Loki are like destroying, uh, destroying Elbaf unintentionally. You know, like they are like their attack power are like so potent, and like they cover so much range and so devastating that it is like causing more fires to break out. You know, like collateral damage. And we see Nami accusing Loki that Luffy and Loki that you have gone mad, you've gone and made friends with another freak. Bro, this is hilarious. Like as Nami, as we know, Luffy is always like no matter how strong Luffy gets, right? Luffy is always like fearing Nami, and he's always like acting. Uh, like he is always scared of Nami, no matter what happens, no matter how strong he gets. And Nami says, "You've gone and made friends with another freak. I'm glad you beat the monsters, but seriously, that thing's breath is only feeding the flames, don't you see? If you burn the Elbaf to the ground to stop the bad guys, it defeats the whole point, so knock it off." And we see Loki and Ragnar and Luffy, everyone like sweating, like after Nami like scolds him, you know, even Loki is sweating. This is hilarious, like Loki in dragon form, bro. Imagine, bro, like Nami like dominating this Loki, this beast Loki, bro. Like this is crazy, bro. Like this gag is insane, bro. Like it never gets old. And yeah, this is we didn't see like bro. We didn't. This is hilarious. This is the most funniest part of the chapter. We see like Ragnar like comforting Gear 5 Luffy, bro. Luffy is like taking it all in Nami's cold, you know. And Luffy like finally like g- crashes out, and like he blames Loki for all the damage he has been doing, you know. Like Loki has been blasting MMA monsters all around Elbaf and causing more fires to break out, you know. This is causing more problem instead of like saving Elbaf, you know. And Luffy says, "You got me in trouble, Loki." And at that moment Loki gets furious, and he blasts uh, he's lightning one of his Thorheim and at Luffy. And Luffy like tanks it, bro, because it's lightning, you know. And Loki is like shocked, like why didn't that work? And it's very similar to the panel where Enel and Big Mom and Kaido were shocked when fire and lightning didn't work on Luffy, you know. Like this is hilarious. Like bro, like it might be Oda's way of like confirming that Luffy is stronger than Loki. Like this panel right here, you know. I don't know, man. Like agenda, you guys can go with your agenda, but bro, this for me it confirms that Luffy right now is stronger than Loki, you know. Like Luffy casually tanks Loki's like lightning attacks. I know Luffy is like immune to lightning attacks, but still the way he tanks it, bro, like Loki is huge. Like this is like ancient weapon level attacks, and Luffy is like tanking it point blank range, bro. This is crazy. And we see Luffy, he was just closing his eyes as well, so this is insane. And he even says that if it did work, I would have sent you flying if it did. So yeah, man, Luffy, bro, don't underestimate Luffy. I think we have been like gravely underestimating like Luffy, bro. Like, so we didn't see like Luffy suddenly like uh, take notice of an explosion, and he gets serious, you know. And as we cut away to Brook's group, where Brook was dealing with Gonko Emu, and we see Usopp has made his way there, and Gonko is like fighting Brook and Emu as Usopp and Brook are both injured and down and out, and Brook is like giving Emu a speech that why why are you attacking Elbaf like this, and Brook is telling Usopp to like run away, and Usopp says, who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Brook, true warriors do not run, bro. Bro, you need to hear this speech. And Brook is like shocked, like, Usopp, what happened, bro? At this point, like, Usopp is not scared, bro. Like, this is insane. Like, hats off to Usopp, bro. Like, he's not scared of Emu, bro. Bro, like, this is insane, bro. Like, can you imagine, like, having Usopp, like, fighting Emu in your 2026 bingo card, bro? Like, I didn't have that in my card, bro. Like, this is crazy. And we see Usopp saying that I have always dreamed of visiting this place to come to the land I've admired. And as Emu is, like, listening to Usopp from above, and I won't disgrace myself, not here. Besides, I'm burning with fury right now. Brook, these guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. They didn't use their own strength at all in this invasion. They relied on those monsters and hijacked the minds of all those proud warriors, trying to force them to slaughter each other. And as we see Emu like charging at Usopp, as Usopp is like talking, and Usopp says, how dare you carry out such a cowardly and underhanded scheme, you shameless vast. And Emu, like, as Usopp is about to continue his speech, Emu kicks Usopp right on the face with her knees, and Brook is like about to like help Usopp and fight Emu, and Emu uses one of her like magic powers or whatever, and she paralyzes Brook, and we see Usopp getting back up, and he says, the warriors of Elbaf fight with their own swords and shields. They put their own lives on the line. They are a nation of warriors. If you want to conquer them, do it fair and square. Fight them head on, you spineless coward. And we see Emu like saying, a dominant ruler never sullies their own hands. And Usopp and Emu, bro, like Emu says, a dominant ruler never sullies their own hands, as Usopp like uses his named attack Skull Bomb Grass, and Emu like moves quickly and speed blades in front of Usopp, and Emu like, and that I don't understand, like if Emu is like blasting a fire attack from her hand, or like it's the same attack from Usopp, as everything like bursts, as there is a huge explosion, and as Usopp, Emu, Brook are all caught in the explosion, and we find out that Brook and Usopp are unconscious after the explosion, as Emu like slowly is regenerating, and bro, the final page of the chapter, we see Luffy and Loki arrive on the scene where Usopp and Brook are unconscious, as Emu is like hovering above them, and Luffy is shocked to see Usopp and Brook in this state, as Loki says, it's her. She is the source of the haki we felt down in the realm of the dead. And Emu is like watching Luffy and Loki, and as they finally meet each other, and Luffy looks at Emu and says, I'm really pissed now. Loki says, I wasn't planning on letting these guys off the hook anyway. And Emu ends the chapter with, Nika, Needhawk, submit or perish. This battle will divide the world. Bro, end of the chapter, no break next week. What a way to end the cliffhanger, bro. What a cliffhanger, Oda, man. Like, this is all the build up for One Piece. It's been for this moment. This panel right here, man. Just embrace this panel, bro. Like, this is peak fiction, bro. Like, it doesn't get any better than this, bro. Like, Usopp, like, for all these years, we were wondering what will start off or trigger the conflict between Luffy and Emu, because as we know, like, Emu has been keeping tabs on Luffy and knows about what Luffy represents, but on the other hand, Luffy had no idea who Emu is or what Emu is, what Emu's connection are to Joy Boy and other stuff, like, this is like, bro, this is everything. Like, Luffy meets Emu for the first time, Emu meets the reincarnation or whatever you want to call the next carrier of Joy Boy's will. So, bro, this is a monumental moment in One Piece. Like, Luffy and Emu meets for the first time, but Loki is also in there, bro. Like, but it's all about Luffy and Luffy and Emu for me, bro. Like, this is huge, man. Like, even though this is not Emu's like real like body or whatever you wanna call, but still, bro. Like, at this point, we have to take Gonko as Emu, bro. Like, this is Emu, basically. So, bro, like, this is huge, man. Like. So yeah, like, man, Usopp and Brook getting injured like by Emu is all the reason Luffy has to go after Emu, So this is crazy, bro. Like, next chapter, the editor's comment even says face to face at last. So yeah, Thankfully, there is no break next week, and bro, like this is going to be huge, bro. Like the next One Piece chapter is going to be generational, and we are diving straight into action as there is no break. So I'm super hyped for that, and yeah, man, I can't wait for it, bro. Bro, just embrace this chapter. Just look at the span, bro. Like insane, bro. Like Luffy in Gear 5, he is not laughing anymore. You know it's serious when Luffy is not laughing in Gear 5 anymore. So yeah, this is it, bro. Like the final battle of Elbaf, it's here, and yeah, we'll be here next week, guys. Like Luffy versus Emu officially begins. Loki is also in there to help out Luffy. This is generational, bro. This will break the internet. I'm just gonna say it. So yeah, that's it gonna be for the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.